Lord Bernhard TV.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Lord Bernhard TV back at you, and welcome to Game Spotlight. Yes, this is the first Game Spotlight of 2021, and the first game that has made Game Spotlight is none other than Resident Evil Village. If you have not played Resident Evil 7 prior, preferably in VR, be sure to do so before you come on the path of Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village picks up 3 years, 8 months after Resident Evil 7 with the main character, Ethan. There's going to be no spoilers in this, by the way, so don't worry if you have not played it. Just use this as Game Spotlight. If it's on Game Spotlight, hit the like button, subscribe, and just go play the game because you already know that the game's phenomenal if it is on Game Spotlight. Between then and the 3 years, Ethan has become very proficient at martial arts. I guess he's proficient at martial arts. He didn't get to show too much, but he can do that knife like this really good. But he's really good at shooting. But he's picked up firearms. He's become proficient at firearms. He's become physically proficient. And he also has some secrets to his body that he doesn't even know. So he finds out later on, just like you're going to find out later on, why he's able to do what he does. But unfortunate circumstances follows poor Ethan, man. And Chris Redfield, who was responsible for getting him out of the situation in Resident Evil 7, sends him away to an Eastern Bloc country where Ethan is living his life in ecstasy with his wife and his child. In a blink of an eye, all of that comes to a halt when Chris Redfield, not a spoiler because this is right at the beginning of the game, when Redfield enters and has a situation that he has to, complete a mission that he has to do pertaining to Ethan's wife and his baby. So, all in all, Ethan's child is taken away from him. Something happens to Ethan's wife. Ethan is there like a Denzel movie. Me! You do this to me! Why, Chris, me? Denzel Washington, eat your heart out. It's Lord Bernhard TV time for Hollywood. Ethan has to go now on a perilous journey to find his child. And he's on a mission. And while on this mission, his own personal mission, he encounters various people, things, places. I have to tell you that the variety of enemies in this is so good. It's perfect. Unlike Resident Evil 7 where you had one type of enemy, this game right here, you have Lycans, you have vampires, you have the undead, you have beast creatures, you have put together cyborg type creatures in a lab and various other surprises, man. And everything, all of the different enemies are done so good. First off, we have the Lycans, man. They are terrifying. They're fast. They're furious. They are aggressive. They tear down doors. They'll tear off wood off of the windows if you're trying to barricade them. I'm telling you, they are nothing to play with, and they will instill fear and have you running for your life. I love it. You like Underworld movies? You're going to love the Lycans in this game. You have the vampire girls to deal with. They hate men for some reason. You'll find out by listening to them, the way they talk about men. For some reason, you had to throw one of them in there, right? So we have 3 doses of men haters in here that are vampires nonetheless. Oh gosh. But it is a joy to deal with them also. You have another savory character that has some sort of powers. He's like a hunter. You have to deal with him. You have this creature that deals with like the blob. He's like the blob. I call him the blob. And he can bring up Vile out of the ground and get you stuck. And man, listen, I can go on and on. The bosses in this game are great. They remind me of Dark Souls. I said it. Don't crucify me. I can hear the Dark Souls players right now. The blasphemy of Lord Bernhard to compare the boss battles to Dark Souls. Hey, they did to me, man. I think two of the boss fights in this game had a Dark Souls feel. And they were amazing. amazing. I loved it. Loved everything about every boss fight. The variety of boss fights are also very good. Everything is not chitty chitty bang bang shoot the whiskey off the shelf. Some of them is like one of them, in particular, the Dollhouse, is a hide and seek game, which I thought was very cool to break up the monotony of regular boss fights, man. So I just like the way they did it. They kept everything, you know, to the particular boss. They're doing what they're supposed to do, how they look. That's the boss, and that's what they're supposed to do. It wasn't something that a boss is doing something crazy, and it's like, yo, this doesn't even add up. It doesn't fit with the boss. Everything fit with every boss, their powers, their weaknesses. It was done. Mwah, mwah. Perfect by Capcom. This game also has different variety of styles when you play. You're somewhat trying to reserve ammo at some spots, making sure you're very accurate. And then another part of the game, it feels like Call of Duty. But it is not thrown in. It is perfect. It is perfect. And when you get to that point with a specific character, you're going to be like, wow, this Capcom, you really outdone yourself, and you really should do a full game with this type of FPS game like this, man. It would be awesome. The gameplay is just perfect. It will keep you engaged in everything that you do. The puzzles are not going to give you a headache. You're going to be very involved. You're going to solve them. Just pay attention to the world. You're going to get the answers that you need to resolve these puzzles. They're on pieces of paper. They're on the wall. They're on things that you examine and turn around. It is awesome. You have treasure chests that hold valuable items and maybe some gun parts that you can embark upon going if you want to go. You don't have to do them, but you get good stuff if you do them. So a lot of things to do in this game. You can hunt down memorabilia and different things and so forth. So the gameplay in this game is just great. The presentation of this game is so good. When she's reading from the storybook, it just puts you into this alternate world right from the get-go, and you're locked in, and then it slams you with that intro scene that was so tense after the storybook. You're hooked. I was hooked from then all the way to the end, man, and I'm telling you, never got bored of this game. I could not put this game down. So I finally beat it on hardcore, and it was an experience. The sound was great. I had this blasting in my 7.1 surround sound. Everything was crisp. It was loud. It shook the house. It was brilliant. I also played it in the 3D Pulse headset. That was actually pretty good as well. But I still prefer the stereo blasting with the subwoofers for some reason. But still, nonetheless, the headset is not a slouch. It does a good job with the virtual sound when you turn that on in this game. So anyway, you really deserve, if you own a video game console, you must buy Resident Evil Village. It is a must-own title in your library. Listen, forget about digital. No. You need the actual physical of this game in your library as a collector's item, because this game is phenomenal. You know what? I'm going to give this game on Game Spotlight a 10 out of 10. I absolutely adore this game. I love this game. Thought it was so fun. And Resident Evil 7 is right up there. It's close. It's not a 10 though, because they didn't have enough enemies. But if they had enough enemies in Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 7 would get a 10 too. But this game right here is great. I think the horror aspect though was more, Resident Evil was more horrific in Resident Evil 7 as far as the whole horror atmosphere of it. But this was more of like an action horror game, which is fine. It's good to mix up the series, but some people are upset that it's not as horrific or horror as Resident Evil 7 or the ones before it. But this game all around, horror, action, puzzles, boss fights, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. This is up there, one of the best Resident Evils ever made, in my opinion. I would like to hear your opinion in the comments. What do you think is the best Resident Evil ever made? This one might be number 1 or number 2. This one might be number 2. But it's up there, in my opinion, man. Just for the whole spectacle of the thing. This game was a spectacle. It was a show. Graphics were great. Not were, they are. The graphics are. Even the voice acting was on point. I mean, everybody did a phenomenal job in this game. The acting, the animation, the art direction, the music, the sound effects, the gore, the boss fights, the variety of characters. I mean, the puzzles that weren't too difficult, all of that, the presentation, the depth of field. It's a must. It is a must own title that you must own, not digitally, physically. You must physically own this game. It deserves a physical purchase on your wall, in your game bookshelf, wherever you need to put it, on your ceiling, so when you lay down, you're looking at it in the sky. With that said, this game is a 10 out of 10. Lord Bernhard TV's stamp of approval. The first of 2021. So far, my game of the year. Right here. So, we're going to go play Returnal next. We're going to see if that changes. But as of right now, this is my go-to game. My game of the year. One of the best games that I've played in a very long time. So be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. And I will see you on the next video. Have a good day.